Welcome back to a warm embrace, a soft place for the hard parts of being human. Today we're talking about something many of us have quietly believed at some point, that maybe our brain is the problem, that maybe we're too much, or not enough, too sensitive, too distracted, too slow, too intense. But what if the issue was never your brain? Only the mold you were trying to fit it into? Let's explore that gently today. Your brain isn't broken. It's wired differently. And different doesn't mean wrong. We talk about normal as if it's a single blueprint, as if there's one standard way to think, process, focus, and cope. But every brain develops uniquely based on genetics, experiences, trauma, environment, what we were exposed to, what we weren't. No two nervous systems are shaped the same way, which means no two brains will function the same way either. Some brains thrive in structure. Others need flexibility. Some can hold a lot at once. Others become overwhelmed quickly. Some process linearly. Others move in webs and layers and leaps. And none of that is inherently better or worse. It's just wiring. For a long time, I thought my brain was defective. I punished it constantly. Why can't you focus like everyone else? Why can't you just follow the plan? Why is this harder for you? I kept trying to squeeze myself into systems that seemed to work for other people. But it's a bit like trying to bake a cake using a muffin pan. The mixture might be similar, but if all you have is a muffin pan, all you're going to get is muffins. That doesn't mean that you failed at baking. It means you used the wrong tool for the result that you expected. I wasn't broken. I was just trying to produce cake-shaped results with a brain that was designed for muffins. And once I stopped punishing my wiring, everything softened. Some brains filter information easily. Others absorb everything. Some brains can separate emotion from logic quickly. Others feel first and process later. Some brains default to all or nothing thinking, mental filtering, jumping to conclusions, not because they're irrational, but because those cognitive patterns were formed somewhere along the way. Brains are shaped by survival too. If your nervous system learned that scanning for danger kept you safe, it will continue scanning. If your brain learned that perfection reduced criticism, it may chase perfection. Your patterns aren't random. They're adaptive. And understanding that changes everything. For neurodivergent brains, ADHD, for example, the difference can feel even sharper. Structure that works beautifully for someone else might suffocate you. Rigid systems can feel overwhelming instead of helpful. And asking a brain to process the same way as someone else's can be quietly damaging. Some brains need stimulation to focus. Some need silence. Some need movement. Some need stillness. Some need loose guidelines instead of strict timelines. It's not about finding the right way. It's about finding the way that works for you. Let's pause here for a moment. Think about a time you felt frustrated with yourself. Not because you didn't care, but because your brain didn't respond the way you thought it should. How did you speak to yourself in that moment? Was it harsh? Dismissive? Critical? Now gently ask yourself, was my brain actually failing? Or was I asking it to function in a way it wasn't designed to? Just sit with that for a breath. The more you understand how your brain processes things, the more you can support it. Notice what overwhelms you. Notice what energizes you. Notice when you focus best. Do you think more clearly at night? In quiet? With music? Do you need space before responding? Or conversation to process? This isn't about labeling yourself. It's about becoming curious. Because when you understand your wiring, you stop fighting it and you start working with it. Your nervous system is always trying to protect you. When you feel overwhelmed quickly, it's not weakness, it's sensitivity. When you struggle with rigid expectations, it's not laziness. It may be cognitive overload. When you process deeply, it's not overthinking. It may be pattern recognition running ahead of conscious thought. Different brains have different thresholds. Capacity isn't moral, it's mechanical. And mechanical differences don't determine worth. You were never broken. You were comparing your wiring to a system that wasn't built with you in mind. Understanding your brain is more important than trying to force it into a box. Because when you try to shrink yourself to fit, you lose access to what makes you powerful. The creativity, the depth, the intensity, the empathy. What if your brain isn't the obstacle, but the instrument? And it just needs to be played differently. I want to leave you with something gentle to consider. If your brain isn't broken, what changes? If your patterns aren't failures, what becomes possible? What would it look like to support your brain instead of correcting it? And if someone you loved had the same wiring you do, would you call them broken? Or would you learn how to understand them better? Now extend that same curiosity inward. Different wiring doesn't mean defective. It means designed differently. Thank you for listening to A Warm Embrace. Take what lands, leave what doesn't, and be kind to your mind today. I'll see you next week.